It's that time again. Time to initiate some invertebrate intimacy. The romantic type, of course. This is a recently matured male Holconia flindersi, a large and attractively patterned species of huntsman native to South Australia's Flinders Ranges. I've been raising a few of these since they were rather small juveniles, and now they are finally ready to breed. This is one of my favourite species of huntsman. Not only are they big and impressive, with a pattern reminiscent of cookies and cream that probably doesn't match the taste, they are, at least from my experience, often very calm in terms of temperament, being significantly less skittish than the related Holconia immanis, a local species I encounter regularly on my ventures into the bush. Here is the female, who matured a few months back. As is typical for huntsmen, she, in stark contrast to the lanky male, is quite the unit, with a larger body and overall stockier build. I have two adult females of this species. The other, while somewhat smaller than this one, has a rather ravenous appetite and killed a male that I was attempting to pair with her a couple days before. After giving her a stern talk about table manners and finding out that she'd misinterpreted the meaning of taking one's boyfriend out for dinner, I decided not to risk another attempted pairing with her until I'd given this larger female a shot, especially since I only had one male left and didn't want him to go the same way. Upon introduction, things went decently enough. The male was cautious about approaching, and most importantly, the female barely reacted to him at all. Having your misso stand still with her back turned to you admittedly isn't the best sign in the world, but I think it's fair to say that it's very much a more preferable outcome than what befell the other male. The female remained motionless for several minutes, still resolutely with her back turned to her suitor. However, our hairy little bachelor was either completely impatient, unable to read the signs, or perhaps just a little bit too horny, and decided to step up his game, because as we all know, if a lady isn't showing you any interest, the only viable way to proceed is to get up and stand on top of her. Also, please don't follow any of the relationship advice presented in this video. I have a hunch it wouldn't fly too well among humans. After quite a long time of the male using the female as a sofa, and let's face it, it's probably pretty comfortable given how soft and fluffy she looks, so I can't blame him, I decided to separate the two due to a complete lack of any further action. The likely explanation was the fact that the male had only very recently molted to maturity, and his exoskeleton may not have completely hardened, as well as the reproductive structures on his pedipalps. Presumably, like with humans, male parts do their job best when they're hard. So I decided to wait a couple days before trying again. So now comes pairing attempt number 2. Initially, they just stood facing each other like two socially awkward outcasts at a party trying to start a conversation. That, or they were having a staring contest, and since spiders don't have eyelids, I can only imagine how long one of those would last. But eventually things changed, and this time it was the female who made the move. After a few moments of the two spiders sitting motionless, the male displayed a courtship behaviour known as drumming, a means for these vibration-sensitive animals to communicate. It seems the male has graduated from standing on his mate's back to dancing on her. Bit strange to me, but she doesn't seem all too bothered by it, so who am I to judge? Are you guys going to kiss or something? You're getting awfully close there. Nope, back to using the female as a dance floor. It's at this point that I began to feel like I was watching one of those crappy reality TV shows. The alternating moments of intimacy, then walking off as though they'd had a petty argument, before repeating the whole procedure seemed all too familiar. And just like with reality TV, I very quickly had enough. Deciding that perhaps the male still hadn't hardened up enough to be fully ready to breed, I separated them once more and waited a couple additional days. Upon the final attempt, things went to plan almost immediately. The male, in typical Holconia fashion, went straight for the female and got down to business before I had even set up my camera. So even though we took the scenic route, it seems we ended up at the same place, and that's all that really matters. I'd also like to add that I'm starting work on a website on which I'll be eventually selling the animals I breed. Having said that, I'm not exactly a computer whiz, so don't get yourselves too excited for anything in the near future. And before we finish, I'm sorry for how much my uploads have slowed lately. Uni has started up again, and I'm working 2 jobs, both of which involve a fair amount of physical activity. So when I go home, sometimes I just want to lie down and do nothing. But once I've adjusted to this new schedule and gotten my time management back under control, I should be able to return to weekly uploads once more. Anyway, that is it for this video. Don't forget to let me know what you thought in the comments section. If you enjoyed, feel free to check out some of my other uploads, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and I should hopefully see you again pretty soon.